All right, let's start off the show with Sheila. Sheila, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very good. Nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here, and I love lots of yachts. That looks like a fun job. Give us a little background on yourself, because I know I just touched the surface, and let's get into what does lots of yachts do.
We do meetings, events, travel, and corporate parties, weddings, memorials at sea, and we use yachts in unique locations for our venues so people have privacy and luxury.
Now, how did you go from being in your other industry, your other life, to reinvent yourself into what you're doing now? How did that happen?
Well, I was a UN diplomat for 12 years in Asia and Africa, and I came back to New York and wanted to look at the Statue of Liberty because I wanted to thank the Statue of Liberty for giving me the opportunity to be an American and to be back in New York. And I was walking down the river one day in New York, and I saw a big purple barge for sale while I was teaching business at Pace University in New York. And I said, this is where I want to live. And I began living on this barge down by Wall Street, and people started coming over to me and saying, what a great place. Can we party here? And I said, sure, be my guest. And that's how my business started.
All right. Now, one of your mantras is making your job fun. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, you have to have people who want to have fun. And most corporate events, most wedding parties, and even memorials at sea, they want to have a good time. So we have wonderful yachts. We have great catering. We have great entertainers, from caricaturists to mimes to magicians. And time goes very quickly. So we try and keep it very upbeat and very, very detailed at the same time.
All right. Where are the yachts?
We have yachts all over the world. We have 18 in New York. We have about 22 in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm. And we have yachts in the Bahamas and Cuba even, and in the Med and the Caribbean.
All right. I would like to know how you decided to get off the beaten track and go down the yacht avenue. I mean, because I love boats. I mean, I lived on boats for 12 years, so I couldn't do anything. I mean, you couldn't hit me in a sweeter spot with anything else but this. So talk to me about that.
Well, I was very lucky. I was such an unusual venue. I had a big purple barge, which was my houseboat in New York. And people just started coming by and saying, what is this? Can we party here? And then I got written up in the New York Post. I had 3 pages, the long yacht summer, and the business just took off. And a lot of our corporations, after they did their summer party, they wanted us to do their Christmas party. They wanted us to do their corporate meetings in Florida. And one of the most interesting things I did last year was an Indian wedding where we rented a river cruise boat in Europe, and we went from Germany to Vienna, and then we did the major wedding with 175 people at the Belvedere Castle in Vienna, which was a beautiful, beautiful venue for a wedding. So I try to be original, and I try to come up with the next great opportunity for parties and events.
So is this kind of like the Airbnb of yachts?
No, we do not sleep on these boats. We just party on the boats.
Okay.
You can rent them for a week if you'd like, for a longer trip, but most of the time we do 4 to 8 hour events.
All right. Let's get into you just a little bit on this. What have you learned in your 20 years of business that you can relate to young entrepreneurs coming up, trying to make it in the business world and invent their own businesses?
Well, I think one thing I learned is never give up. we've had cycles here. We had 9/11 where everything stopped for a while. We had Hurricane Irma in Florida where everything has now stopped for a while. But just persevere. There is always somebody who would like to use your services. Be patient, persevere, and always be on the cutting edge. Try to invent something new. At least once a week, I try and come up with a new idea or a new service.
Give me your biggest successes and biggest problems.
I think my biggest success was actually sitting in a phone booth in Greece while I was at a Greek yacht show. And I got a phone call because in those days we didn't have text and we didn't have cell phones. And it was like an American Express commercial. I was calling my office in New York from a phone booth. And it was a very rich billionaire who wanted me to do his 65th birthday party in Sag Harbor with 250 of the richest people in the world. And that was a very big success. I think my biggest failure came when somebody had a heart attack on one of the boats. It was his 80th birthday, and the party ended for a while. We had to resuscitate the person and stop and have an ambulance come. But in 20 years, that was the only time I had a bad health problem.
Now we've got about a minute and a half. What could you say, or how do you stay current with the times, and what would be your exit strategy here?
My exit strategy would be to have somebody who would want to buy my business, and I could act as a consultant to them. I would also like to position tangential services to my business, whether it's an exotic trip, or maybe do half as much as what I do now. I don't think I could ever totally retire, but if somebody would like to buy my business, they're welcome.
Okay. All right. So now you're going to take off and go into the sunset on one of your yachts.
Right.
Do you happen?
Enjoy. I'm going to rent a yacht.
There you go. Do you happen to have any yachts in Fort Lauderdale?
We have about 9 in Fort Lauderdale. Are you coming down?
Yes.
Great. Well, I hope to meet you.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, Sheila, we've got to close for now, but I want to send you some business. As you know, we interview CEOs from around the globe, and I think that as a matter of fact, I want to reach out to you after the show and find out how we can send you some business, and maybe somebody might even buy it.
That would be great. Well, thank you so much. I'll look forward to hearing from you.
You will.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Sheila.
Bye.
All right, that was Sheila Schwartz of Lots of Yachts, president, lotsofyachts.com. We're going to go to a commercial break right now, and this segment is brought to you by our title sponsor, Tycon Partners.